Hi, welcome to live stream yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. You will never know what a particular path has to offer you until you've chosen it. Use that as your theme for today's class, discovering what each pose has to offer you today. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to begin today's practice coming into a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Stack your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, and your feet directly behind your knees. Start to press away from the mat with your hands. Start to press away from the mat with the tops of your feet. Begin to lengthen the line of your spine and pull your belly button in to center. Keep your belly button pulled into center. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, peek over your right shoulder. Pause there. Feel the stretch on the left side of your ribs. Inhale to center align. Exhale to look over your left shoulder. Pause there. Feel the right side of your ribs. Inhale to center. Take a big breath in and float your right arm up. Pause in the stretch. And then on an exhale, give me a tiny thread, just reaching across the midline on the left and pausing when your fingertips are just over the edge of your mat. Keep squared through the shoulders. Big breath in, float your right arm up again. Exhale to thread a little bit deeper this time, maybe bending your left elbow and finding your way down onto the side of your head, keeping your belly button pulled in to center. Inhale to reach for the sky again. Exhale to thread again. This time sliding your left hand to the top end of the mat, finding an L frame between the two arms. Stay here or explore the space above you by raising the left arm up. Maybe you're happy to stay here, fingers to sky, or maybe you'd like to tuck behind your back and explore the space there. See what that has to offer. Keep your belly button pulled into center. Find your way back to 4-point kneeling. Let's repeat those threaded stretches on the second side. Big breath in, fingers to sky, pause. Exhale for your first mini thread, sliding your fingers just across the edge of your mat. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale to thread a little bit deeper, maybe finding your way onto the side of your head. Keeping your weight centered and your belly button pulled in. Inhale to reach for the sky. Exhale to thread all the way through. Sliding your right arm forward and reaching for the front end of your mat. Staying here or exploring the space above, reaching right hand to sky. Or maybe reaching it behind you, tucking behind the opposite hip, and seeing what a slight bound has to offer. Ease your way from here into child pose with your arms long and extended on the mat. Big breath in, thread your right arm underneath your left and pause. Feel the stretch into the right shoulder. Ease your way back to the midline. Take your thread to the second side. Ease your way back into extension and find your way to a full 4-point kneel for some dynamic cat-cows. Inhaling to hollow out your back. Exhaling to round out your back. Playing with maybe a 1-to-1 ratio today. Find your way to a neutral long tabletop stretch. Slide the left leg out, keeping nice and parallel to the mat with your trunk. Slide the right arm out, and then in unison, float softly up to table and pause there in a long stretch, trying to make your hovering limbs as long as you can. Keep them hovering at tabletop line and cross over the midline. Hold. Then tap to the mat, opposite sides of the mat, reaching with your fingertips and your toes to bleed your way back to a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Square up through the trunk and slide your right leg back. Replicate the stretch with the left arm. Float up to table and hold your long reaching stretch. Keeping the arms and your arm and leg hovering, cross over the midline, pause. Tap to the mat, pause, almost reaching around the edges of your mat. Trace your way back to a full 4-point kneeling frame and step your legs back one at a time into a strong plank line. Hold your plank for roughly 10 seconds. Then use the plank to set up a pigeon line on the right, pulling the right knee in, floating the foot in and finding an angle that works for you. Relax yourself down to the mat and pause here in the stretch, making both hip bones and in fact the whole pelvis equally heavy to the floor as you sink into your pigeon seat. Then bring the left knee off the mat, tuck your toes under, step back into a plank, brace your core. Hold for 10. Let's set up that pigeon line on the second side. Settling your way into your high pigeon and just think of weighting your whole pelvic area to the mat, equal on the left and the right side of the spine. Drop down onto the forearms, slide the left leg back and find your way into an elbow plank. Holding steady. You can keep your palms open or you can come into a tripod frame, bracing the two hands together. Keep strong through the forearms and shoulders and relax your lower belly, the tops of your thighs and your feet to the mat, stretching the entire line of your spine from your lower back all the way through the mid-back and the upper back, coming into a long Sphinx stretch. We're going to bleed our way from Sphinx line into an extended locust, creeping your hands out, giving yourself a chest and an arm lift, and then adding a double leg lift. Coming to rest on your lower belly or dropping your whole body line closer to the mat so that you've got a less bow frame in the back. Then relax your feet to the mat. Try to keep your chest lift and sweep the arms behind you, coming into either a loose interlace or a tight interlace, thinking knuckles reaching for the wall behind you, coming into a fisted cobra line. Then let's start to get a little bit creative with our cobra line. Relax your hands to the mat so that they're alongside your bosom, and open up your feet a little bit wider so that your feet are on the outer edges of your mat, and you could be pressing into the tops of your feet, or you could tuck the toes under. See if you can press up into a wide up dog, bracing your core. Keep your core braced and cross the right foot over the left so that you're conditioning into the tops of your toes, maybe peeking over the right shoulder as you come off center with your body. Feel your way back into your wide frame and then cross the left leg over the right, peek over the left shoulder. Keep your core braced, keep your arms strong. Find your way back to your wide frame, tuck the toes under, and find your way into a wide down dog. Starting to stretch the line of the arms, the spine, and the legs. Hold your wide dog, trying to ground as best you can through the heels. And then cross the right foot over the left. Pause here, peeking underneath your right armpit this time. Bleed your way back to your wide down dog. And cross the left foot behind the right, peeking underneath your left armpit this time. Bleed your way back to your wide down dog. We're going to either step up the legs one at a time or take a little hop to the top end of your mat, bending the knees to find that hop, and then ragdoll style, peeling up, restacking, realigning your body in one long line. We're going to take a big warrior 2 step back on the left, wiggle walking the legs out as you find your frame. Back leg open at 90, reaching for the wall in front, reaching for the wall behind. Pause in your warrior 2, see what it has to offer you. Then keep your stance nice and wide, but extend the front leg. Start to drop down, fingertips to shin, coming into a modified wide triangle, rotating to look up towards the sky. Resting your whole palm on your lead shin. Then bend your lead leg. Find your warrior 2 frame again, but this time rotate the hands, palms up. Reach for the wall in front, reach for the wall behind. Then straighten up your lead leg. Keep your legs straight and start to drop your back hand to your back thigh and reach your top arm to the sky, coming into a modified reverse triangle. Then bend your lead leg, relax your lead elbow to your lead thigh, bring the back arm nice and close to your ear, and pause here in an extended side angle. Reaching with both sets of fingertips and trying to center your body weight as best you can. Then think about how you're going to find your way into a tree pose at the top end of your mat from here. Maybe starting to relax your back arm and beginning to heel toe your back foot in. Step into a tree pose on the left, either big toe on the floor or peeling up halfway through the leg, or taking that foot all the way to the inseam of your stabilizing leg. See if you can come to stillness, hands to prayer in front of your heart. Center yourself, look for balance, look for control. Maybe you can grow your tree line. Maybe you can open up the branches of your tree and maybe come to a hand mudra, maybe Gyun mudra. Bringing your index finger and your thumb together. Step back into mountain pose, hands on the tops of your thighs. Feet stacking directly underneath your hips, and then fold forward into a tabletop stretch, pressing into the tops of your thighs and trying to lengthen the line of your spine and the back chain of your legs. Stay here in your tabletop stretch, or drop your head through the tabletop line, fisting the hands behind your back, thinking knuckles to sky, and dropping your crown softly towards the floor. Then soften your knees, ragdoll up, taking a warrior two step with your right leg back and settling into your warrior two, reaching for the wall in front, reaching for the wall behind, and trying to make your pelvis nice and heavy to the floor. Keep that wide stance, but straighten up the lead leg, starting to pull up through the quad. Start to relax your lead palm to your lead shin, backhand to sky, maybe looking up towards the sky as you come into a modified, wide, open triangle. Lead your way back into a warrior two leg stance, but this time your arms are looking up to the sky. Palms up, reach along through those arms, reach along through the fingertips, reach along through your crown. Straighten up the lead leg, start to pull up through the quad. Relax your back hand to your back thigh. The lead arm reaches for the sky, coming into a modified reversed triangle, keeping both legs long and extended. Bend your lead leg, relax your lead elbow to your thigh, find an extended side angle, reaching for the wall in front of you with your back arm. We're going to find our way into our tree pose from here, starting to walk up that back leg as you relax the arms down. And then stepping right into the tree of your choice, picking the leg line that works for you. Center yourself, look for balance, look for control. Maybe grow your tree towards the light. Maybe allow its branches to unfold and morph your hands into a modified active Gyun pose by rounding out the index finger and the thumb and bringing the 2 points together. Step your legs together, place your hands on the tops of your thighs and fold forward into a tabletop stretch. Straighten the line of your spine, the line of your legs. Stay here or come into a forward fold, thinking crown to floor, interlacing the hands loosely or tightly behind your back. Find your way from here back into your 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Let's run through that whole series as a little flow now. Find a belly up position, look over your left shoulder. Come back to center, look over your right. Center align, big breath in, left arm to sky, give me a full thread. Maybe opening up your right arm to the sky or tucking it behind your back. Back to 4-point kneeling to repeat the thread on the opposite side. Thinking right arm to sky, thread through. Experimenting, picking a path that works for you on the left arm. Find your way back to center. Find your way into child pose. Maybe threading once on either side. Running through each pose, using it as a little vinyasa this time. Finding your way back to extension. Leading into 4-point kneeling and starting to flow in cat-cow. Square up. Stretching opposite hand and leg, we'll do right and left. Tracing across the midline to tap to the mat and pause. Lead your way back to repeat the stretch on the opposite side. Reaching across the midline to tap to the mat and then bleed your way back, easing your way into a full plank. Step your right leg up, finding a high pigeon. Maybe switching it up this rhyme and dropping down into the forearms, holding a sphinx pigeon, and then doing your leg swap from here, thinking of bringing your back knee off the floor and then changing legs surreptitiously to sink back down into your pigeon line. Find your way from your elbow pigeon into an elbow plank. Relax the sphinx. Find your way into an extended locust, bringing your feet off the mat. Then releasing your legs to the mat, sweeping the arms behind, finding a bound cobra. Then placing the hands alongside you on the mat, taking your leg stance wide and pressing up into a wide-legged up dog. Cross the right ankle over the left, pimping over the right shoulder. And then do the same on the second side. Finding your way from here into a wide-legged down dog, taking a moment to just relish the stretch. Crossing the right foot behind the left, peeking underneath the right armpit, and then doing the same on the second side, peeking underneath the left armpit this time. Back to your wide down dog. Make it a relaxed wide down dog. Then hop it up. Bleeding up ragdoll style to find your way into your first warrior 2 position, leading with the right leg in front. Straighten up your lead thigh. Relax your lead palm down to your lead thigh and give me a wide open triangle, peeking up to the sky. Find your way back into a warrior two, but this time palms up. Straighten up your lead leg. Give me a reverse triangle. Bend your lead leg, drop into a modified side angle. Extend that back arm, reach for the front wall. Heel toe the back foot in. Find your way into the tree line that works for you. Taking a moment to look for balance, to look for control. Center yourself with your hands in prayer in front of your heart. Grow your tree when you're ready. And then allow its branches to open up, maybe finding your way into Gyu Mudra. Step your legs into parallel, place your hands on the tops of your thighs, fold forward into table. Stay there or drop into a forward fold, fisting the hands behind you, making your crown heavier to the floor. Soften your knees, lead back up. Set up your warrior two on the second side, so leading your left leg in front this time. Hands looking down to the mat as you reach for the wall in front and the wall behind. Straighten up your lead thigh. Relax your lead palm down to your lead shin and open up into a wide triangle stretch. Back to a warrior two, but this time palms up. Straighten up your lead leg. Drop your back hand to your back thigh. Reach the front leg for the sky and hold your reverse triangle. Start to bend your lead knee and your lead elbow. Morph your way into an extended side angle stretch. Then begin to walk up that back leg. Find your way into a tree line on the right. Finding purchase on the inseam of your left leg and centering yourself. Grow your tree towards the light when you're ready. And then maybe look for an opportunity to open its branches, maybe morphing your hands into active Gyu. See what your tree has to offer. Step your legs into parallel and place the hands on the tops of your thighs, folding forward into table, pausing or dropping your head through the table line, looking for more of an active standing forward fold, maybe fisting the hands behind you. Pause in your stretch. We're going to find our way from here into Sukhasana, leading right leg in front of left. Soften your knees, place your hands on the floor, cross the left leg behind you, take a seat, cross the right leg in front. Placing your fingertips on the mat, we are going to come into some bum thumps, lifting our bum off the mat and then gently thumping it back down to the mat, maybe 10 times. Then cup your hands over your knees, trace a big circle clockwise, full circle, and then one anti-clockwise. Do that 3 times. A circle to each side, maybe even bringing the stretch into the tenseness that you might be feeling in your shoulders. 1 clockwise, 1 anti-clockwise. Then begin to trace 5 Kundalini circles clockwise only. Keep moving in the same direction for 5. Then come to stillness. Cross the right leg over the left. Close in to hug your lead thigh. Maybe you'd like to find a little stop sign hand. Trying to take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Then keep the legs as they are, but untwist your trunk. Placing your right hand on the inside of the right knee, press away. Then start to unravel your trunk and extend your right leg. Bring the sole of the left foot on the floor on the inside of the right leg and hug your left knee in towards your chest. Coming into a modified mariachi twist. Then open up your mariachi twist, taking it on the opposite side. Maybe a left arm on the inside. You could just press and resist, or maybe you can find a bind behind your back. Bringing the hands maybe into a little bear grip. Pausing, seeing what this pose has to offer. Unraveling your bind and crossing the left foot over the right to come back into your little half lord hug or little stop sign hand. Looking over the back shoulder. Pause in your little seated spinal twist. Then unraveling your twist, knife edging the left foot and folding forward. Maybe just hugging the lead knee in towards your nose. Maybe you'd like to hold the knee with one hand and reach for your foot with the other. And you could experiment, change your hands positions, see how that path feels. Change up the stretch. Ease your way from here into a butterfly seat, bringing the soles of your feet together. Maybe at first, just using your elbows to press the knees open a little bit, maybe cupping your hands around your feet or your ankles. Stay here in butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana, or find your way into dancing bear, Merudandasana, by finding a big toe lock, tipping your weight off your tailbone, think boat meets butterfly, maybe trying to extend one leg and then the other, coming into a V-like boat sit. Pausing in the stretch, discovering what it has to offer you. Melting your shoulders away from your ears, extending through the line of your spine, the line of your arms, the line of your legs. Bleed your way from here back into easy sit, left leg in front of right, and give yourself 10 bum thumps. Wake up the energy. Then cup your hands gently around your knees and begin to trace a circle in one direction and then the opposite direction, giving yourself at least 3 turns of this little alternating pattern. One anti-clockwise, one clockwise, working into the shoulders if you need to. Then starting to trace anti-clockwise for at least 5 turns. Keep moving in the same direction. Come to stillness, take a nice tall seat. Cross the left leg over the right, rearranging the legs underneath you and hugging opposite arm to lead thigh. You can just do a hug or we can do a little tabletop stop hand. Keep looking over that back shoulder as you find your way into Ardha Matsyendrasana, half lord of the fishes. Make sure both bum bones are still connected to the mat. Untwist your trunk and begin to extend your left leg. Plant the right foot alongside the left, knee up to the sky, and then twist towards that knee, giving yourself a hug or maybe a little stop sign hand, whichever works for you. Then take your twist in the opposite direction, maybe arm just on the inside, or maybe you can wrap around, finding your way into a little bind behind the back. Gaze over the back shoulder. Then step the leg over, find a little hug in position again. Grabbing opposite hand to knee. You could do elbow to the outside of the knee if you like. Then untwisting your trunk, knife edging your lead leg to fold softly forward, maybe just hugging the knee in. Or experimenting, one hand holding onto the knee, one hand reaching for the foot of your extended leg. Maybe swapping hands and seeing if that switches up the switch. Sitting up tall to find your way into butterfly pose. Using those elbows to gently prise those inner thighs open, feeling the stretch. Stay here or morph your way into dancing bear by finding a big toe lock using your thumb, index finger, and middle finger. Tip the weight off your tailbone. Look for balance. Open up one leg. Try to open up the second. Look for a long, almost L-lean spine as you unravel yourself. And then see if you can use this dancing bear or this modified boat line to fold your way down onto the mat into corpse pose. Taking a moment to just settle the weight of your body. Start to melt and soften from your crown, through your ears, your nose, your lips, your jaw, your neck, collar line, arms, hands, fingers, chest, belly, pelvis, shoulder blades, upper back, mid back, lower back, bum. Melt your thighs, front and back chain. Soften your knees. Relax your shins, your calves, your ankles, your feet, your toes. Melt your whole body, crown to toes. Inhale and exhale gently through your nose. Then lead your way into a little tuck. Gently cradle rocking yourself side to side. Finding your way into a little fetal tuck, preferably on the right side of your body with your left shoulder looking up. Pause here for a moment. And then when you're ready, press up into a seat of your choice to end off your practice for today. Find a comfortable, long but neutral spine. Bring your hands to a gentle prayer mudra in front of your heart. Close your eyes. Take your focus inward. Be brave enough to walk the path put in front of you. For it is only when you take a particular path that you will realize what it has to offer. Internalize those words. Manifest them in the days, weeks, months to come. Namaste to you. Thank you so much for coming out and playing with me today, seeing what each pose had to offer you. Till next time, keep it light.